All right, so why the video journal? I think that's a good thing to cover since we've introduced the pets and kind of introduced a little bit about what's going on. So basically we inadvertently got the axolotl, and that has a lot to do with the rats. So a lot of people get upset when it comes to the subject of the rats, but basically we got the rats both as pets and as breeders. With having a snake, snakes eat rats, it's just nature. So having a food source available for the rat, or for the snake, kind of important. As you can see, they've got a really nice setup, they've got a really nice cage. A lot of the stuff that they normally have isn't in there right now because, again, they chewed through their hammock and it had to be removed and taken out. But we stock them full of toys, they get plenty of food and water, they live a happy life, with the exception of whenever the female has babies, we do about once a week take one of the babies and feed it to the snake. Once those babies get large enough to where our snake can't eat them, we don't kill them or do anything wrong to them. What we do is we box them up and we go to a local pet store that's just down the street. Really awesome reptile place. And we basically sell them to the reptile place. That way they can take them and sell them to other snake breeders or snake owners. So I mean, it's one of those things, like it's kind of helpful, and generally with the money that we get from the rat babies, we're able to go and get supplies for either the snake cage or one of the fish tanks or for the dogs. So it's kind of a nice little extra 20 bucks in our pocket that we can go and get a bag of treats, or if the snake tank needs a new light, get a new light. When we went up there last week with our latest batch, they were going to give us about $16, and they had baby axolotls, and the baby axolotls were about $25 a piece. And it was one of those things, I've wanted an axolotl for years, and when I say years, I mean at least 10 years now. But the thing with axolotls is they're not easy to find. A lot of places don't really carry them. They're really an interesting species, and once I actually start talking about the axolotl, I'll get into the details about why they're an interesting species. But basically, instead of doing store credit, the guy at the counter was like, hey, if you want to take one of the axolotls instead, go for it. You could tell he was a little bit frustrated, but again, we'll get into that one when we actually do the spotlight on the axolotl, which will be here in the next video most likely. But we got the axolotl, and it's been a week now. It's been a very adventurous week with a lot going on with the axolotl's care and setup, where it's been trials and tribulations. But it's getting to a point where I'm gonna really enjoy this project, but that right there being stated, it's going to be a project. I'm on a fixed budget, so I don't have a lot of money to be able to go and get tanks and filters and all that stuff. So one of my focuses is going to be showing you guys how I set up the tank, how I care for the tank, and then what pieces I put into the tank as I get them. But everything kind of loops around when it comes to the fish tanks, which are my biggest project in the house. Because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the main tank with the angelfish to get it where I want it. And just as a basic passion, I love fish and I love plants. So I want to do planted tanks for both the axolotl and for the fish. And I figure the best thing to do is document the ups and downs of doing it, you know, when problems come up, show what kind of problems can arise, how to fix them, and kind of just how you can make a nice setup even when you don't have a lot of cash to be able to spend on it, because it's a fish tank. I mean, all pets require income. They're gonna take money from you. There's just ways that you can be smarter about it, and ways that you can sit there and stage setting up everything to where it's not just a huge drain all at once on your wallet. So there's that. And then with Jade, since she's my service dog, you know, showing her progress in training, I think would be a cool thing. I'm pretty sure I'll do other videos, because I mean, I'm a dork and I do really dorky things like paint minis, and I do a lot of art projects, so you know, doing videos on that might be fun. So it's basically just a video journal, but I'll start talking here about the actual tanks in just a few.